Gustave is out here trying to be deep and poetic about flowers and mortality. But honestly, his riz needs some work because he is stressing about whether Sophie would even approve. His friends are roasting him for ghosting the festival prep to throw rocks, which is peak procrastination behavior. He is trying to play it cool, but you can tell he is nervous about seeing his ex. The squad is talking about the expedition like it is just a casual road trip, but the energy is heavy because everyone knows previous groups got absolutely cooked. Gustave is struggling to figure out how to slide back into Sophie's DMs in real life after 4 years of radio silence. He is overthinking his opening line way too much, which is relatable but also painful to watch. They are taking these grapple shortcuts like they are in a speed run, trying to get to the harbor before Sophie leaves. The banter is top tier, with his friend roasting him for being tense and needing a jewel to loosen up. It is giving very much supportive bestie trying to stop you from spiraling energy as they rush to the main plaza. Gustave finally gets the jewel, and his friend is hyping him up, claiming he sees a smile. They are heading to the plaza where the vibes are festive, but also kind of tragic, since everyone is celebrating a gommage, which is basically a countdown to their expiration date. It is a weird mix of party vibes and existential dread. Gustave spots Sophie near the red and white tree, and the tension is palpable. His friend basically pushes him into the interaction, wishing him luck because he is clearly going to need it. It is that moment where you have to confront your past and you are sweating bullets, knowing you cannot dodge the conversation any longer. The reunion is honestly heartbreaking. Sophie is trying to be cool, but Gustave is stumbling over his words like a total amateur. They are talking about the past and alternative timelines where they could have just been happy, but reality is gatekeeping their joy. Sophie calls him stubborn, which is clearly her love language, and asks him to walk her to the harbor. They arrive at the harbor, and it is awkward because Gustave is visibly struggling with his emotions while Sophie is selling flowers. She is trying to keep it professional, but you can tell she is hurting. The whole town is there, and it feels like a massive send-off party, but with the undercurrent that most of these people are never coming back. Sophie is interacting with this journalist named Cyril, who is trying to gaslight her into writing his headline for him. He wants to spin the expedition as this underdog story to get clicks, which is honestly so cynical. Sophie is playing along, but she knows the reality is way darker than the fluff piece he is trying to write. A sculptor is having a crisis because nobody cares about his statue of Ishia, so he asks Sophie for advice. She tells him to paint it, and he is suddenly inspired to chisel her name onto it. It is a sweet moment about leaving a legacy when you know your time is short, trying to make sure something remains after you are deleted. These kids are role-playing as Gestahls and talking about crushing the Paintress, which is honestly kind of dark given they are orphans. They have this fantasy about joining an army and finding a new family, which just highlights how messed up this world is where children are training for war instead of just being kids. Hi there. If you want to enjoy more gaming lore without grinding for 60 hours, hit that subscribe button. I do the grinding so you don't have to. Your support really helps the channel. Sophie runs into her old sewing teacher who is having major regrets about fighting with her son before he joined the expedition. She hands over a custom uniform she made for him, asking Sophie to deliver it. It is a super emotional moment about parents accepting their kids' choices even when it terrifies them. Sophie meets a woman who is completely doom-pilling, saying the expeditions are a joke and they are all going to die anyway. It is a stark contrast to the toxic positivity elsewhere. She challenges Sophie's boyfriend to prove her wrong, basically daring them to actually make a difference this time instead of just being another statistic. A friend asks Sophie if she should join the expedition to avoid having regrets, quoting the YOLO philosophy. Sophie gives her some solid advice about making her own choices. The friend gives Sophie a family heirloom to pass to Gustave, which is like a side quest reward that you know is going to be important later. Sophie shows incredible empathy for the Paintress, wondering if she is also just a prisoner of the cycle. Her friend thinks she is wild for sympathizing with the villain, but it shows Sophie's character depth. She is volunteering to help orphans, proving she is literally the purest soul in this entire messed-up city. Gustave's apprentices show up with the modified coat, and it is a wholesome reveal. They raided the fabric stash to fix his sleeves, and Gustave is genuinely touched. It is a bonding moment that shows how much he means to the younger generation, even though he tries to act like a grumpy old mentor. Gustave puts on the uniform, and it is a major glow-up moment. Sophie tells him he looks good, and there is this heavy realization that this is his legacy. He is wearing the hopes of everyone on his back, and while it is a cool outfit, the weight of expectation is absolutely crushing. It is the night before the launch, and everyone is coping by drinking. Gustave's friend is calling him out for grieving alone, telling him to stop being a weirdo and join the party. They are toasting to Sophie and the past, trying to drown out the anxiety of what is coming tomorrow with wine and bad jokes. Gustave gets roped into a trivia battle about history, which is basically a lore dump disguised as a mini-game. He aces the questions about the fracture and the first expedition, proving he is not just a pretty face with a sword. It ends with a bro moment where his rival finally gives him respect and a token. Gustave finds Maelle, who is looking for a drink, and they have this sibling-like banter. He is trying to be protective, telling her she has 9 years left and shouldn't be throwing her life away on this suicide mission. Maelle is having none of it, though. She is determined to go because 1 year of freedom is worth more than 9 years of captivity to her. Gustave and Maelle spar, and he beats her, using it as a teachable moment. He calls himself the oldest man in Lumiere, as a flex. It is a classic mentor-student dynamic where he is trying to prepare her for the brutal reality of the outside world while secretly hoping she stays safe. Gustave's sister, the chief counselor, shows up to say goodbye, and the family tension is thick. She thinks the expedition is a bloodless guillotine, which is a bar. She is mad he is leaving, but clearly loves him. It is a complicated dynamic where duty clashes with family love, and nobody is really winning. The departure speech is epic. They are calling the expedition the Sword of Lumiere, hyping them up to destroy the Paintress. It is full of rhetoric about crumbling monoliths and seeing the sunrise, basically gaslighting everyone into thinking they have a chance. The crowd eats it up, but the expeditioners know they are walking into a meat grinder. They barely land on the beach before things go south immediately. An insanely overpowered white-haired guy shows up and starts one-shotting everyone. He is asking what year it is, completely confused, and then proceeds to wipe the floor with the entire squad. It is absolute chaos and panic as the team realizes they are out of their depth. Maelle wakes up on the beach, surrounded by bodies. It is a massacre. Gustave is down, and she thinks he is done for. The sheer trauma of losing almost everyone in the first 5 minutes is real. She is trying to process the fact that their grand adventure basically ended before it started. Miraculously, Gustave wakes up because he is built different. They realize they are the only survivors along with maybe a couple of others. Gustave refuses to give up, clinging to the "when one falls, we continue" motto. He is trying to keep morale up, but honestly, the situation is completely scuffed. They find a journal from Expedition 81 and encounter a Nevron that isn't attacking. It is super suspicious. They realize the dead don't disappear here like in Lumiere, which is a massive red flag about the nature of this place. The lore is getting deeper, and the mystery of the white-haired guy is center stage. They find a cryptic message telling them to go to the weird corals, which sounds like a trap, but it is their only lead. Gustave wants to follow protocol, but the others are like, "Protocol got us killed." They decide to break the rules to find Maelle, prioritizing family over the mission for once. Gustave and his companion have a heated argument about Maelle's safety. Gustave is spiraling, terrified of losing her like everyone else. He is ready to abandon the mission just to take her home, proving that his hero persona is cracking under the trauma. His friend has to slap some sense into him about their oath. They track down Maelle to a hut, and it turns out she has been chilling with a mysterious stranger who upgraded her gear. Gustave is relieved, but also super wary of this new guy. Maelle is just happy to see familiar faces, thinking she was the last one standing. The reunion is sweet but tense. The group runs into a Gestahl, which is basically a mythical creature to them. It is a moment of wonder amidst the horror. They realize the legends are true, and these creatures have a village nearby. It gives them a new objective and a sliver of hope that there are allies in this nightmare world. They find the wreckage of Expedition 68 and realize a previous team actually survived a storm and beat some Nevrons. It is a confidence boost, but also a grim reminder that even the successful ones eventually died. They are piecing together the history of failure to try and find a path to victory. Maelle and Gustave have a heavy heart-to-heart about death. Maelle admits she thought she was used to loss, but the Beach Massacre was on another level. They promise to run if they see the white-haired man again, ditching the hero complex for pure survival instinct. It is a valid strategy, given he wrecked them effortlessly. They arrive at the Gestahl Village, and it is full of red trees and cute but dumb creatures. They have to navigate local politics and prove they aren't enemies. It is a weird tonal shift from the grimdark beach, but it provides a necessary breather and a chance to upgrade their equipment. Exploring the village, they realize the Gestahls are actually better survivors than humans. They find signs that the white-haired man passed through here too, destroying things. It confirms he is a recurring menace. They meet the chief and get ready for a boss fight to prove their worth. The team fully regroups, and they are surprised to see each other alive. They share stories of how they survived, realizing everyone had a different chaotic journey to get here. It is a moment of solidarity, realizing the disaster expedition might actually have a fighting chance if they stick together. Gustave gets a new prosthetic arm, and everyone is hyping it up. It is a cool upgrade, but also a reminder of the physical toll this journey is taking. They joke about it being lemonade from life's lemons, using humor to cope with the fact that he is literally missing a limb now. They run into the white-haired man again, and this time Maelle has a flashback or vision where he speaks to her like he knows her. He warns them to go home, acting like a disappointed dad rather than a monster. It confuses everyone and adds a layer of psychological horror to the physical threat. They meet Isha, who turns out to be a giant talking turtle creature that speaks in riddles. He is super chill but lazy, refusing to help them cross the sea unless they retrieve his friend Flory, who is supposedly a rock. It is a bizarre fetch quest, but they have no choice but to play along. They go to find Flory and encounter another creature named Francois, who is extremely territorial about his rocks. The team is baffled that these powerful entities are beefing over stones. It is absurd, but they manage to retrieve the rock, hoping it is actually the key to crossing the ocean. Maelle is having an identity crisis, feeling like she doesn't fit in and that she is missing something everyone else understands. Gustave gives her a pep talk, admitting he feels lost too. It is a bonding moment where they accept that being lost together is better than being lost alone. They find the remains of a giant wheel from Expedition 50, realizing those guys tried to drive across the world. It is tragic seeing the ambitious failures of the past. They reflect on what could have been if these inventions had worked, mourning the lost potential of generations. The white-haired man, Renoir, shows up and finally drops the mask. He reveals he is trying to save them by sending them home, but his methods involve murdering anyone who refuses. He is convinced the Paintress is a force of nature that cannot be stopped, and he is trying to spare them the pain of false hope. The biggest plot twist drops. Renoir is Verso's father. The mysterious stranger who has been helping them is the son of the guy trying to kill them. The family drama is off the charts. Verso has been hiding his identity, and the team feels betrayed. But they also realize this is a messy family feud they are caught in. Gustave actually dies for real this time, or at least it is heavily implied he is sacrificing himself or succumbing to wounds. The team is devastated but decides to bury him in a beautiful spot. They vow to finish the mission in his honor, turning their grief into fuel for the final push. Verso officially joins the team, revealing he is from Expedition 0 and is basically immortal. He explains that Renoir kills to protect his own immortality and the status quo. It is a huge lore dump that recontextualizes the entire history of the expeditions. He offers to guide them to the Paintress. They follow train tracks to find Verso's old friend, which feels surreal because trains are a myth in their time. It shows how advanced the world used to be before the fracture. They are walking through the ruins of a golden age, heading toward a station to recruit a powerful ally. They finally hold a proper burial for Gustave under a magnificent tree. It is a somber moment of closure. Maelle promises to save everyone and break the cycle, taking on the mantle of leadership. It is the end of the mentor arc and the beginning of her true protagonist era. They reach Old Lumiere, which is the original city before it got yeeted into the ocean. It is a ghost town full of Nevrons. Verso reveals the heart of the Paintress is here, and destroying it will lower the barrier to the monolith. The stakes are higher than ever as they enter the ruins of their ancestors. Maelle and Verso have a deep talk about whispering to stars. Verso opens up about his past, and they bond over their shared trauma. Maelle discovers she has an affinity for chroma, which allows her to feel the presence of the dead. It is a spiritual level up that connects her to the magic of the world. They find Monoko, Verso's Gestahl friend, who immediately starts a fight because that is how they say hello, apparently. After a quick spar, Monoko joins the squad. He is a chaotic force, but fiercely loyal. The team is now fully assembled for the assault on the Paintress's heart. Doubts about Verso start creeping in again. Maelle wonders why he is helping them when he has watched so many others fail. He is evasive, hiding secrets about his true motives. The trust is fragile, but they need his knowledge to survive, so they keep moving forward despite the red flags. Renoir confronts them again in the manor. He is trying to stop them from destroying the heart. The dialogue is intense, with Verso finally standing up to his dad. Renoir insists he is doing this for their family, but Verso calls him out for being toxic. It is a classic breaking the generational trauma showdown. Monoko dies or is critically injured, and Verso reveals that Gestahls reincarnate but lose their memories. It is a bittersweet realization that even if their friend comes back, the version they knew is gone. They mourn him while preparing for the next phase, realizing immortality comes with a heavy price. With the Paintress's heart gone, or inaccessible, they need a plan B. Verso suggests hunting Axons, giant monsters, to harvest enough chroma to build a weapon that can pierce the barrier. It sounds like a suicide mission, but they are out of options. They decide to hunt the Western Axon first. They talk about Alicia, Verso's sister, who wears a mask because of fire damage. It adds another layer to the tragedy of Verso's family. They are not just villains. They are broken people trying to cope with horrific injuries and loss. The mask becomes a symbol of hiding one's true self. They arrive at an island full of masks and creepy faces. It is a psychological horror trip. The Axon here feeds on truth and lies. They have to navigate this surreal landscape, destroying masks to weaken the monster. It is a metaphor for stripping away their own pretenses to face reality. They defeat the Axon, who turns out to be the essence of Verso's brother, or related to him. It is a tragic victory. They harvest the heart, but it feels wrong, like they are desecrating a grave. The line between monster and family is blurring, and the morality of their quest is getting murky. Verso plays a song on a piano he finds, and it triggers memories. It is a haunting melody that he used to play for his sister. Maelle listens, and for a moment the war stops, and it is just music and grief. It humanizes Verso completely, showing the artist beneath the warrior. They enter a new area controlled by a siren-like entity called She Who Plays with Wonder. The music here is weaponized, manipulating emotions. It is a trippy level where they have to fight against their own feelings. They realize this entity is another manifestation of the Paintress's family, specifically the mother figure. Renoir shows up again, begging them to stop. He is desperate, not angry. He warns them that destroying the Paintress will erase everything because their reality is a painted canvas. He reveals the horrifying truth. They are all just characters in a painting. The existential dread hits peak levels. They ignore Renoir and enter the monolith. Inside, it is a swirling vortex of memories and paint. They are literally walking through the Paintress's mind. They see memories of Verso's childhood, realizing the entire world is built on a mother's grief for her lost children. The team navigates the surreal dreamscape, fighting manifestations of trauma. They see Renoir fighting the Paintress inside the canvas, a literal battle of husband versus wife for control of the narrative. It is a deadlock that has lasted for decades, explaining the state of the world. They reach the top and face Renoir in a final boss battle. He fights with the desperation of a man trying to save his wife from herself. The team fights back, not out of hate, but out of a need to be free. It is a tragic clash where nobody is truly the villain, just people with opposing goals. They defeat Renoir. He falls, devastated that he couldn't protect his family. Maelle shows him mercy, but the victory is hollow. They have broken the Guardian, but now they have to face the Creator. The path to the Paintress is open, and there is no turning back. They meet the Paintress, Helene. She is confused, mistaking Maelle for her lost daughter, Alicia. It is a heartbreaking scene where a mother's dementia and grief collide. Maelle has to navigate this conversation carefully, realizing she is talking to the god of her world, who is just a broken woman. Maelle finds a letter from the real Alicia. It explains the family dynamic and urges Maelle to find a third way, not just destruction. It challenges the binary choice of Kill or be killed. Maelle realizes she has agency to rewrite the ending, not just follow the script laid out by her predecessors. Maelle confronts the real Alicia, or a version of her. They talk about the burden of being daughters of this messed-up lineage. Alicia is cynical, but Maelle is hopeful. They debate the value of a painted life versus a real one. Maelle decides she wants to save the canvas, not destroy it. The plan shifts. Instead of killing the paintress, they decide to hide the canvas so she can't erase it or return to it. It is a risky gamble. They are basically hijacking the simulation to keep the servers running. Maelle takes control, proving she is the true heir to the artistic power. Maelle has to fight a shadow version of herself, a manifestation of her own doubt and the role she was forced into. It is a metaphorical battle for self-determination. She rejects the identity of Verso's replacement and claims her own name and destiny. It is her ultimate girl boss moment. Renoir, defeated and humbled, apologizes. He finally accepts that his way was wrong. He sees Maelle not as a tool or an enemy, but as a person. He agrees to stop the erasure, effectively ending the threat. The cycle of violence is broken not by a sword, but by a conversation. Lun, who had briefly betrayed the team to side with Renoir, thinking it would save them, is forgiven. The team understands she acted out of fear and love. They reconcile, proving that their bond is stronger than the trauma that tried to tear them apart. The squad is back together. Maelle accepts her dual nature, born of the canvas but real in spirit. She realizes she has two families, the biological one she lost and the found family she made. She is at peace with her identity. The world is still painted, but it is their world now, and that makes it real enough. The final logic of the world is rewritten. The gomage, the death clock, is stopped. The paintress is put to rest, not killed. The characters decide to live out their lives in this new reality. They have successfully modded the game to remove the permadeath mechanic. Maelle makes the final stroke, unpainting the corruption and stabilizing the world. It is a moment of pure creation. She saves her friends, saves the memories, and secures a future. The screen fades as the new dawn arrives, one that they actually get to see. The epilogue vibes are impeccable. We see the team living their lives, free from the countdown. They are visiting graves, rebuilding, and just existing. It is a quiet, beautiful ending to a chaotic journey. They didn't just survive, they changed the rules of the game. Absolute cinema. Gaming lore is long and confusing, but I break it down every week. Subscribe so you never miss a plot twist or hidden detail. Thanks for watching.